Hey folks, how are you tonight? Thank you for tuning in once again. You either love my cooking or you love me. Either way, I don't care. Thank you. The show is called Let's Get Cooking. I'm your host, Charles Minnick. So without further fanfare, let's get cooking. All right, guys, quiz time. Chicken, onion, garlic, parsley, butter, chicken stock, mushrooms, olive oil, Marsala wine. You put that together, what do you have? If you said chicken Marsala, you are correct. That is tonight's dish. Now, chicken Marsala, very simple, very easy to make. If you're a fan of the show, you know that I've told you before, you want to cook with the wine you like. Well, Marsala wine, I like, but it's nothing you want to drink. This is worse than hobo wine. It's got a high alcohol content, but it's got a nasty taste. But when you cook with it, it gives a depth and a flavor you're not going to get anywhere else. That's why you cook with it, you don't drink it. So tonight we're actually going to pair this up with a Pinecroft Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a nice dry wine, very inexpensive. You can get this for about $5 a bottle. And in a store, in a restaurant, you may pay $12 or $15. But this is a great wine, great way to pair with this dish. This dish you can also pair off with a drier Chardonnay. Will also go very good with it because we got the butter, we got the garlic. Great, great pairing. So, as I said, don't drink this unless you're the hardcore hobo. So what are we going to do first? Well, first of all, let's get our chicken cutlets ready. We got some nice boneless breast of chicken right here. I've already cut some of these into cutlets. Cutlet is just a fancy term for smaller because this big hunk of meat is going to take too long to cook. So what we're going to do is we're just going to trim off some of this fat. Just want to cut it in half. Put that aside there. Take your nice knife, nice and sharp. Slice it like that. Open her up. This technique is also called butterflying, but we're not going to leave it like this. We're actually going to cut all the way through. So we've got that piece done. And now this piece not too thick. However, I still want to cut it down into a nice cutlet because I don't want to be cooking all night. I have guests and I want to enjoy them. So, I'll put that there, get rid of that chicken goopiness. Now from here, if you're a fan of the show, you'll know that my favorite cooking utensil is the gallon bag. Why the gallon bag? Well, it makes life easier. It contains the mess. So I'm just going to take some flour. And the flour in here has already been seasoned with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and I threw in a little bit of garlic as well, garlic powder. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to shake this up and add some more chicken. Just little by little, I'm getting nice aromas of the pepper in there. Okay, well, when this is all said and done, you can reach in there with your fingers or with your tongs. Take out the chicken. Shake it off. You don't want to coat this like crispy southern fried chicken. You just want a light coating. All you're trying to do is prevent the chicken from burning and to get a nice nutty flavor when you do saute it. So I think I've got everything. Oh, one more straggler. Okay, nothing more in there. Now normally I'd say throw that out, but what we're going to do is we're going to reserve that a little bit. Okay, because we might want some of that flour to thicken up our pan sauce later. All right, now for the pan sauce, let's go over to the stovetop. Okay, got our skillet. We're going to put this on to a medium high. Got a lot of chicken to cook, so we're going to use about 4 tablespoons of oil. We will add some more as needed. You know what? I'm going to add some more right now because it may be needed. Now over here in this pan, we have our vegetable of the evening. We have some basic snap peas, sugar snap peas, with some red bell peppers. Now I bought these frozen because it's just easier to work with. They're always going to be in your freezer. Got some snap peas, got some bell peppers. You put those together, life is good. My wife is always amazed, like, where did you get these vegetables? The freezer. All right, we're gonna let these things warm up for a little bit. And while we're doing that, let's come back over here. Onion. We're not going to use the entire onion. We only want to use half of this onion. Now this is a nice sweet onion. It's not going to make you cry too much, although it might. I don't know if you have a low crying threshold. So we've got it skin off. This is all we're going to do with it. Ta-da! We slice the onion. Gonna go like this with our, just put this in your hands a little bit. What this does is help breaks it up. Now this will take the longest to cook, the onions, believe it or not. So after we cook the chicken, that will be the first thing we put back in our pan. So let's see how the oil's getting over here. Well, not quite hot enough. Well, while that is getting up to temperature, we're gonna take our garlic, okay? And we're just gonna add just a little bit to the vegetables over here. Okay. Now for the butter. Same thing with the butter. Because we're going to let these vegetables just, as I said, they're frozen. They are going to just defrost on the stove, so to speak. And that is good to go. All right. So get ourselves some cooking room here. Oh, I hear some sizzling. I hear some goodness happening. All right, well that is heating up almost there. I have already pre-boiled some pasta, and we're going to heat that up in the microwave. Now I know some of you people are saying, oh no, don't cook with the microwave. Well, guess what? If you gave a caveman a convection oven or a fire in the cave, guess which one the caveman is going to take? The convection oven. All right, microwave, great tool to use. I want to cook a steak in there. I don't even cook bacon in there, but for heating up pasta, because this is egg noodles. I cooked these up yesterday. I let them cool off at room temperature after I toss them with some olive oil. So they're perfectly cooked. And all I'm going to do later, sorry Mom, I talk with my mouth full. All I'm going to do later is just heat it up. I recommend you do that every week. Boil an entire box of pasta. You have pasta for the week. What's easier? It stays in the refrigerator, 2 seconds in the microwave. Well, not 2 seconds, but it's quickly heated up in the microwave. All right. So folks, in about 2 minutes, we are going to start with our saute process, but in the meantime, we're going to take a slight break and we'll have a word from our sponsors. So when we come back, we're going to start the chicken. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So should you. Hi folks, my name is Charles Minnick. I'm the host of Goffstown Public Access's latest hit show, Let's Get Cooking. I'm not here today to tell you about my show, however. I'm here today to tell you about the Goffstown Food Network. If you are hungry, if you are in need of a meal, the Goffstown Food Network is an outreach program that provides meal assistance to those in need. They're located right in downtown Goffstown, across from Sully's Superette. Every Wednesday, between 6 and 8 p.m., and every Saturday, between 10 and noon, you can go in there, show proof of residency for this area. That includes Ware, New Boston, and Dunbarton, as well as Goffstown, Pinardville, this entire area. And they will make sure that you are fed. Don't be ashamed. Sometimes we all need a helping hand. And if you have a helping hand to give, please donate to them. Cash donation, a food donation is greatly appreciated. Again, that's the Goffstown Food Network. They're located downtown Goffstown, right across from Sully's at the St. Matthew's Church. Give what you can, take what you want. They are that little penny thing that you see at the convenience stores. Give a penny, take a penny. Whatever you need, no questions asked. I want you to be well fed this winter. So please, if you need help, go there. If you don't, give there. Hey folks, welcome back. I didn't go anywhere, just like I promised, neither did you. Of course, I can't go anywhere. The dude in the control booth, Dave, will not let me out till I'm finished cooking this dinner. So, let's go on. I hope you enjoy the spots from our sponsors. I would like to give a special shout out to Sully's Super Red here in Goffstown. They really do have the best meats in town at the best prices. And believe me, I shop around, I know. So, we have over here, got our vegetables, slowly thawing out. We have our pan, slightly smoking. Nice hot olive oil. Woohoo! Hear that goodness happening. So pretty much this is it. We're going to take our pieces of chicken, put them in there. There we go. Probably going to do about 2 minutes aside, maybe 3 minutes aside, and then we will take care of those. Now, after those finish cooking, that's when we're going to use the onions and the mushrooms. So I'm just going to put all of these in one container. It'll make it easier for dumping. All right, ooh, we are getting a nice crispy golden brown on these, so I think it's time to turn. You will find that when you cut these into a cutlet, they don't really take that long to cook. I mean, look at that nice golden brown. Let those sit there for a minute. God, we still have a lot of chicken. Now, folks, realize what I cut up here, this you see here, and this right here still to be cooked, that's about 1.5 pounds of chicken at most. But when you cut it into cutlets, you're getting a lot of meat out of it. Because 1 or 2 of these, that's actually a serving size. In the supersized world we live in, you really don't realize what you need and what a serving size is. So, these are cooking nicely. I'm actually going to turn that up a bit. Let those sit. All right, what's going to be next? Well, when those are done cooking, we're going to use our chicken stock to deglaze the pan. Deglazing the pan is the act of taking all the stuff off the bottom of the pan and pretty much dissolving it. That's like a flavor crystal booster down there. That's everything that's caramelized on there. And by deglazing it, we're lifting it back up. It goes back into the pan sauce we're going to make. And Marsala wine is a pan sauce at 14% alcohol, but don't worry, the alcohol does burn off. You're left with just the flavor. Oh, that smells good, but the thought of drinking that, oh, don't know how the hobos do it. All right. Now, while those are cooking, I do want to introduce you folks to another sponsor that we do have. Not so much a sponsor, but a partner. The Goffstown Food Network. is a food pantry here in Goffstown. Their hours are Wednesday, 6 to 8, and Saturday, 10 to noon. If you are hungry and you need food, please call them. Their phone number is right here on the screen, as well as their website. If you have food to give, please give. Because food is love, but food is also hope. And everybody deserves a meal like this. All right. Yeah, Dave, this is taking a little longer to cook than I thought it would. Dave? All right, folks, here we go. Looking good, looking good. What I'm going to do right now is just take a slight cut into one. Ooh, we are almost there. Almost there with these. Now, these are taking a little longer than I had anticipated. However, if I had cut them thinner, they'd be cooked by now. It's my own fault. Oh, we got some nice stuff happening in the bottom of the pan. Oh, those are looking good too. All right, let those sit for a few moments. We are going to look at our pasta now. As I mentioned, microwave your pasta. Cook it on the stove in boiling water, but keep it and microwave it. Now, when you cook pasta, you do want to use the biggest pot that you have. You want to give that pasta room to move. When your pasta sticks together, that's because there was not enough water or not enough room to move. So, don't break your pasta, don't do this, don't do that, but get the biggest pot you can find, put it in there. If the spaghetti's sticking out, lightly put it down as it cooks. Your pasta will love you for it, so will your belly. Now, some people, they add salt to their pasta. It's not to season it. No. The reason you add salt to your pasta is for one reason and one reason only. You add salt to your pasta so it doesn't boil over. You've all been there, I've been there. Your pasta's boiling over. I'm just taking these off, not a big deal. Your pasta's boiling over. It was on the same temperature you had it on before, and it starts going haywire. Well, guess what? That's because your pasta, I don't want to say cheap, but it's starchy. And cheaper pastas tend to be starchier. I don't know how they can be starchier, being that it is pasta, and pasta is all starch, but the starch boils over. What the salt does is the salt breaks those bubbles. As it starts to bubble up, the salt crystals break those bubbles and it falls back down. Think of your kid, or when you were a kid, you're blowing bubbles in your milk. My brothers and I used to have a race. Who could blow the bubble with a straw in the milk, and who could take their straw and pop all the bubbles? Well, the bubble popper is the salt crystals. So that's why you put salt in there. You don't need a lot, probably a teaspoon to a tablespoon, depending on how much water you have. But perfect pasta, a lot of water, some salt, and you will be amazed at how easy it is to cook pasta. No more boiling over, no more hard pasta. When the box says 10 minutes, 10 minutes. All right. I got the second round of chicken cooking over here. It's looking good. Now, I'm making a little more than I normally make tonight. And that is because I have noticed that towards the end of the show, there are people hanging around the outside of the studios, milling about, saying, hey, what's going on? Well, they know what's going on. A lot of goodness, a lot of goodness. All right, I think those are almost ready. Let's get rid of this, get ourselves some cleaned up, cleaned up a little bit. All right. While that is working, I'm going to take a little bit of our chicken stock. About half a cup. That is deglazing, folks. That is lifting up everything that was burned to the bottom of the pan. And it is putting it everywhere. And now we have some butter. You know what? I had enough oil. I don't really need the butter, but I have it with me. And I don't feel like bringing it home with me. So, because in case you did not know, this is not my house. This is the studio of Goffstown Public Television, or Public Access Television, I should say. All right, folks. Now, what we're going to do now is let those just sit there. We're going to turn our burner up to high. And we're going to add about a cup of the Marsala wine. Let that come back up to temperature. And we're going to let that sit for a little while, because what we need to have happen now is that's going to come back up to temperature. It's going to boil off. And then from there, it's going to make the sauce. So we let the mushrooms cook, the onions cook. We have to let the wine reduce. So that may take probably about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to go closer to 10. But so right now, we'll take a quick break. We'll hear from another one of our sponsors, and then we'll be back and see how we're doing. All right, don't go anywhere. Neither will I. Hey folks, welcome back. As promised, I didn't go anywhere, so thank you for coming back too. All right, our sauce is just about reduced. If you want to come on over here and take a look, everybody. Look at that, huh? We have reduced that by about 1/2 to 3/4, so keep your eye on that bubbly goodness, folks. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a little bit of that flour that we had, probably say just a teaspoon. Going to put that right in there. And then just do this. What's this going to do? It's just going to thicken it up a little bit. I don't want to go too thick on this, but just enough to give it a little bit of heft. Look at that. Oh, that looks good. If you have one of those newfangled smell-o-vision TVs, you are loving this episode. This is a very fragrant dish. Okay, so we're going to take that off right now. We have our vegetables. Those are all set. Now, back over here, everybody. Now, as I said, we have used this flour. It has touched raw chicken. Raw chicken can be loaded with salmonella. So we're just going to get rid of this right away. In case your significant other comes in your kitchen and says, hey, I want to clean up because you're cooking dinner, you don't want them thinking we want to save that. All right, so now we have our pasta in the microwave. To recap, oh, it's done. To recap, we cooked it ahead of time. When we cooked it, we used just a little bit of oil. Whoa, look at that steam. Just a little bit of oil. so it won't stick together. And we talked about how important it is to take your pasta, salt it when you cook it, and give it a lot of room. All right, so we're going to plate this right over here. Okay, look at that. Now you see, folks, look how much pasta I'm using. I'm going to bring it over here to this camera. So come on over here to the stove for a second. Look at this pasta. It's not a heaping plate. It's not a huge plate. That is a serving size, maybe a little too much pasta, because guess what? We're adding to this. So let's go back over here and plate up our dish. All right. This is what we have. We got the chicken. We're going to take 2 of our cutlets. We're just going to place those right on top. And then all we got to do now is spoon some sauce on that. That is it. This is Marsala madness, everybody. Now, what I would also do with this dish is top it off with your favorite Parmesan cheese. Okay, now right over here, we've got our vegetable, because your mother did teach you to eat your vegetables right, because mine did. So, this is the goodness. We're going to garnish this with Auntie Val's parsley from Auntie Val's Parsley Farm in Albany, New Hampshire. Actually, folks, it's not a parsley farm. It's just her house. I stole this a few weeks ago when I was up there. If you're a fan of the show, you'll know. So, all right, camera over here. Check this out. This is your chicken marsala. We got the pasta, we got the chicken, we got some mushrooms, we got some onions, a marsala wine sauce, and of course, the vegetables to make your mother happy. Now, if you don't like onions, try shallots. If not, don't put any onions in there. Like I always say, you make this dish yourself. This dish is a great winter dish, great fall dish. There's something about that marsala wine that says, good. So, let's just see what we got here. Oh, I got a nice crisp from the chicken, because that tells me I cooked it perfectly. Well, we get a little pasta on that plate, a little bit of onion, a little bit of mushroom. Oh, folks, I don't know how I do it. Another awesome meal by me. Oh, let's all drink to that, shall we? All right, folks, as always, if you have any questions, concerns, comments about my cooking, please email me. My email address is mchm411@comcast.net. It should also be at the bottom of your screen right now, because we're working on those cool graphics for you. I will answer any of your cooking questions on air in the future, so long as you send them in. If you want me to make a particular dish, I will do it for you. If you want to come in and cook with me, you can show me or I can show you. It's up to you. So just let me know. So again, email me. Yeah, that's what I say, call me, but I really don't want to get your phone calls yet. It's not a call-in show. In the future, it may be a call-in show. So again, chicken marsala, folks. Wonderful, wonderful fall dish. You're going to love that. Your wife, your husband, they're going to love that. Don't forget our sponsors, Sully's Superette, best meats in town, bar none. I'm a shopper, I know. Their prices are right. The quality is bar none. Phenomenal. Goffstown Food Pantry. Check them out. If you need food, give them a call, show up. They'll take care of you, no questions asked. Don't be too proud, all right? Get yourself fed. Food is love. Food is also hope. If you have too much food, give them some. Don't give them the junk, though. You know what? If you got that pie filling in your cupboard, I don't think they want it either. Give them something good. All right, folks. Till next week. Let's get cooking. I'm your host, Charles Minnick. Thank you for watching.